All right, welcome to day 2 of ChiroThon. We are so glad that you're with us today. Yesterday, we were able to talk about some amazing stories, a lot of education, some great speakers, and if you missed any of them, you can go to f4cp.org/ChiroThon. To watch any of these previous vignettes and donate, you can do that now. Now, in case you didn't get a chance to catch up yesterday, I want to talk to you about what we're doing. We're trying to raise $30,000. I challenged Sherry to double that. So my goal is 60K, but if we can hit the 30K in this first segment with Nick Athens, and we're going to talk about that here in a second, I think it's going to be amazing because we're helping people find chiropractic. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that we've had some phenomenal speakers. We're going to have even better speakers coming up, but I'm going to hand it over to Sherry.
Outstanding. Now, as one of the things that really means everything to us is the people that help us. So again, with grace and true love, I want to thank my team. They are absolutely fantastic.
Amen.
Everybody that is behind the camera, that is across the nation helping us stream this, thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and my team and Dr. Drake, who gives willingly of his time, talent, and wisdom. So thank you.
And thank you, Kansas City.
Whoo, Kansas City, you rock. And speaking of helping, we're helping our patients. This is sponsored by NCMIC. It is a proud sponsor for us on a wide array of insurance and financial products and services, as well as countless practice resources. They can always be counted on NCMIC after their commitment to the profession. NCMIC is more than just malpractice insurance, and they help our doctors move better and think better and be better on so many levels in their practices. Now, I want you to watch this ad from NCMIC.
All right, starting this morning is one of my close friends, a good mentor, and somebody who really needs no introduction. I've spoken with this man on stage multiple times. He's helped a lot of athletes in the Bay. He's Dr. Nick Athens. He's probably best known for working with the 49ers, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. But one thing that you don't know about Nick is Nick just has a passion for service, and he's been able to change a lot of people's lives, not only in the athlete world, but remember what I said yesterday, if you have a body, you're an athlete. So I really want you to pay attention to his presentation. He's got an amazing book and he's got a big mission. So Nick, take it over.
Welcome back, everybody. We are now joined by Dr. Nick Athens, a seasoned chiropractor, educator, and author whose career spans more than 4 decades of hands-on patient care and leadership in sports medicine. He is a Palmer College graduate. He built his practice from the ground up and went on to serve as team chiropractor for the San Francisco 49ers and Giants, with over 750,000 adjustments performed. Dr. Athens is known for combining clinical expertise with holistic approach to health. And he's also the author of a very important book for you to read called To Health with You, a book which really reflects his mission, which is to empower individuals with practical strategies to improve both mind and body. Welcome to ChiroThon, Dr. Athens.
Thank you, Dr. McAllister. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
It's so fun to have you because your experience and your enthusiasm have not changed since the day I met you when I was a student. So we're going to kick this off. We know we're heading into FIFA, and that's a really big moment. In fact, they're saying it's going to be one of the biggest marketing moments of watching a sport event ever recorded in history. And so I want to ask you, at the highest level of global competition, like the FIFA World Cup, what really separates a good athlete from truly elite performance?
I would say mindset. They're, it's they have to be ready for a game day. As an athlete, you have to do everything right, and the more detailed you could get with your performance off the field to be performing on the field. So whether it be your diet, your sleep patterns, seeing a chiropractor, getting massage, stretching, eating correctly, feeding your body the correct fuel, And always getting body work done to take care of yourself. You're like a fine-tuned race car, and getting pit stops keeps the race car going at 220 miles an hour at the Indianapolis 500. So these athletes are fine-tuned performers, and the more you could fine-tune your body to get it to perform, it's just going to perform at a higher level, which you have a greater chance of winning. And it's all about winning at the World Cup at these destinations. It's all about getting a win. So whatever you can do, that little edge makes the difference. And if you as a performer have a good mindset, you're ready to perform and realize it's game day, and you're doing all the things, little details off the field to be ready on the field, you have a great chance of winning, or have a better chance of it.
You know, you mentioned little things. I'm going to talk about milliseconds because we both know that that matters. How important is alignment and nervous system function when performance comes down to those milliseconds?
Well, it's really important because it's how you react to what's happening on the game, and being aware and raising your awareness, raising your astuteness. And in soccer, a lot of the action is not having the ball at all at your feet. So in essence, what are you doing when you don't have the ball? And where's the other person going? Where are you moving to? Where are you going to get the ball? Where are you going to receive it? And so a lot of it is taking care of your body. You're just more astute. Your body's performing at a higher level to implement a lot of this astuteness on the field. And if you do that, then again, you have a greater chance of winning, greater chance of being ready to make the play. Because these games, Dr. McAllister, they come down to one or two plays, and you have to be ready to make the play. If it's right there in the goal, if you miss, well, now might be going into penalty kicks because you didn't make that goal right when you had that chance. So you just got to be ready. You don't know when that play is going to happen, and you just got to be ready to make that play. And the more astute you are, the more fine-tuned, the more detailed you run your life and your body, you just have a greater chance of making that play because you're putting yourself in that position to make that play.
It's critical because over time you have raised some beautiful children, and I have had the luxury of meeting both of the twins, and one of them is Olivia, and she was a very, very talented soccer player, and watching her on the field, her fluidness, her ability to respond quickly, and also be able to position herself where most athletes get, which is, I'm seeing in the future, I know what the next move's going to be, and that's a big part of it. But then there's recovery. There's how does a person go from the field, high intensity, big plays, to getting off the field? And having you as her dad, I think, was a really big part. And she even admitted it. You know, I just expected that my dad was going to be there, and there'd be real recovery that happens. Talk to me about, what does that look like? What does the real recovery look like for a world-class athlete?
Well, repair and recovery is huge, because the more you can repair, the quicker you can repair and recover, the better you're ready to perform the next game. Because they play usually in the pro leagues a couple times a week, sometimes 3 times a week. And these pro soccer players or pro athletes, there's a lot of games, and they have to repair and recover. So whether it be cold plunges, making sure they're getting chiropractic adjustments a day or two right after the game, massage, again, repair and recovery, stretched, making sure they're getting good sleep, reducing inflammation by making sure they're taking the proper supplements, that they take supplementation that reduces inflammation. And if you could keep inflammation out of the body inside is just a better repair and recovery machine. So, you want to keep the LA traffic jam out of the body. You want to keep the body at a high level of repair and recovery, and then they're ready to perform at the next game. And injuries are a big part of the game. And if you get injured, then someone else has a great chance of taking your spot, not only your spot, but it's hard for you to get back maybe on the field if that happens. So the more you're detailed, the more you can repair and recover. You make a name for yourself. You're ready to make these plays. You're ready when these plays come your way. You're ready to, kick the ball at the right time and right moment to score goals to help your team win. It's just a great cycle to be in. So I feel getting adjusted is huge. Body work is huge. Repair and recovery. Nervous system and getting the nervous system rebooted, because running the engine at a high level stresses the vehicle. So you want to make sure you're always taking care of the vehicle. And if you do that proactively instead of reactively, you have a better chance to have a longer career playing the sport you love. And that's what it's about, keeping these athletes on the field, to performing at a high level and executing at a high level, to do the sport they love and have fun. Because when they're hurting, they're not having fun, they're grinding. So you want to keep the fun in their life. And if you keep the fun in their life, they're going to perform at a higher level. When you're grinding, it's hard to perform. So, if you do these little details, like Doc talked about, details matter. It's the little things that put the athlete at the higher level, at the highest level. So doing the little things correctly really will help you form. And you don't have to be the fastest athlete. You just have to be the highest mental astuteness. There's a lot of athletes who aren't the fastest, but they're so smart without the ball and what to do without the ball. They make a career out of that. And so, you just find that little niche that you're strong at. You keep working on your strong points and keep working on your weak points to get better at it. And you want to be the whole package athlete, the highest level athlete, where you have the whole package going onto the field. And that's how you keep your spot on the field. And that's why other people won't take your place, because you're performing at such a high level on a consistent basis. And that's the key. If you could be more consistent performing, then you're going to keep your job on the field, and the coaches are like having you out there. And another thing too, you're making others around you better. And if you can inspire others around you who are trying to make the team and bring more out of them, I think if everyone on the team is trying to make each other better, it's just a domino effect of a better team chemistry, everyone trying to perform, bring out the best of themselves. And if they get body work and getting adjusted, and chiropractic, massage, cuppings, cold plunges, all these things that they can do to reduce inflammation, and eating correctly and sleep, it's all part of making that whole athlete a complete package.
I like that you say it, because recovery then, as you just laid out for the listeners at home, that you want to aspire to be the best athlete. Maybe you're a weekend warrior. You're hearing Dr. Athens say it's really, recovery's not rest. It's really about recalibration, right? The best athletes, they have to reset their body so that they can stay at their peak and perform again the next day. So it's recovery in essence of everything we just talked about. Really it's about performance. Recovery, really, without it, your performance is going to lack. And I think, as you would probably agree with this statement, if you stay aligned, you will in fact stay ready for that next game. And it is about elite performance in how we show up. When you do become an elite athlete, you want to sustain that performance over time without breaking down. From what you have seen over the course of your career, where have you seen alignment-based, or should we say chiropractic care, really impact performance or recovery? And do you have a specific story that kind of comes to mind when you think about, without an alignment-based approach, where chiropractic care came in and really impacted this patient who is an elite athlete on their performance, they wouldn't have done or even been able to come back to the field?
Yeah, I feel there's so many of them, Dr. McAllister, that there will be on performance. But I would say what chiropractic care does is gives the athlete balance, and balance gives you power. And when your body's out of alignment and needs to be adjusted, and you keep it out of balance, it's like the front of a car out of alignment. It's just running right. It pulls to the right or pulls to the left. So it's the same idea with the body. It's not performing at a high level. One is dragging the other one. So as a result of that, you're not ready to make that play. Like I said, that these plays matter. And as a result, I feel if you could keep the athlete balanced, and they do a lot of and teach them how to have better balance off the field by making sure they're sitting correctly, sleeping good posture. They're not slouching across the leg or sitting with one leg under the other one or the one ankle under the other one. They're not slouching in chairs and meetings off the field. They're sitting upright correctly. They have good support. You could keep the athlete more balanced, and they could do their workouts with better balance, their strength with better balance, their stretching with better balance. And now they could perform on the field with better balance. So it's just this domino effect of keeping the athlete at a higher level. And that's where chiropractic is such great hands-on as the largest drugless health profession. And these athletes are looking for ways to perform without, drugs, injections, surgeries. And if they could perform and take care of their body proactively instead of reactively, they're going to just have a higher level of performance. And remember, it's all about winning, right? If these coaches don't win and these assistants don't win, they get fired and they have to move their whole families to another city and try to get a job somewhere else. So it's all about winning. So as a coach, you want to keep athletes on the field who are performing. And so it's this whole domino effect in the pro sports world. I mean, there's even betting on these games, right? As we know, with gambling and such on these games, and it's all about winning. Who's going to win the game, right?
Yeah.
So, you want these coaches at a high level. You want the athletes performing at a high level. Everyone's trying to compete at a high level, and the better balance these athletes have, they're just going to complete at a higher level. Christian McCaffrey, I think I was telling you, he's a 49er athlete. He had a lot of injuries. He missed 1 year. And as a result of that, he had to go and looking for other ways to take care of himself. And, we fixed a lot of lifestyle habits with him and created more balance on him. And this year he became NFL Comeback Player of the Year in 2025, which is great.
Outstanding.
Big comeback. So again, this balance gives you power. The most effective pitch in baseball is the changeup. It gets the hitter off balance. Hitter's off balance, he grounds to the shortstop. He can't hit a home run. So in essence, and outs are part of baseball. You get outs in baseball, you win games. You win games, the manager keeps his job. I mean, you could just see the whole domino, like I said, effect of how this works. And as we're a tool in the shed as a chiropractor, you're like a great body mechanic to keep the Porsche or the sports car working at a high level, and getting that as part of that life as an athlete, part of their tool, and I guess part of their life on a regular as a body tool. I think it just changes and resets them at a higher level and keeps them playing at a higher level. And if you can keep the athlete at a higher level, then you win games.
It is so true. And as much as the elite athlete has the extra added stress of the win, doing their best, but also knowing that this is a team sport and everybody has to play that important role. There's a lot that goes on in the athlete. And as you notice, it's from balance to everyday lifestyle choices that they're making to ensure that their body's going to be recovered and ready for game day. What's one habit that you have seen in elite athletes that everyone can adopt immediately today that's listening, that's thinking, I'm not going to get my $1 million salary, but I love to play soccer on the weekends with my friends and I want to be the best I can be. What are some of maybe one habit that you see elite athletes have that anyone can adopt immediately today?
I think hanging around the right people, getting the team around you that keeps you going, because we all need community, we all need accountability. And it's hard to do that by yourself because we all have bad days. And when we have bad days, it's hard to do that and get through those bad days by ourselves. But if you have other people around you to help you change these habits. So in a regular patient, I'd say, why don't you join a hiking group, or why don't you go to Tai Chi in the park? Why don't you, go to Pilates class or a yoga class and have a community around you? And when you're having a bad day, these people are going to say hello to you. How are you doing? Hey, great to see you here. Let's get this done. And athletes, let's take that to their level. They're hanging around the right athletes and the right people in their lives to keep them going, whether it be with off the field, the repair and recovery team they have, and then all the accountability and their friend and the community group that they have that helps them perform and keeps them going in the right direction. So I would say that accountability community would be one of the top things. Even the blue zones, the people who live 100 years old, they have a big community. They're not by themselves. It never gets old with the friends and families they create over time. And that's why they're centenarians. They're over 100 years old, and they have good calm, they have community, and they make better decisions. With calm and community, your decisions are better. And when your decisions are better, your outcome will be better. So put yourself in a position to succeed, hang around the right people. They'll draft you to a better result. So don't try to do things on yourself. Just depend on other people. I tell people just to get to the yoga class, just to get to the gym, get to the Tai Chi in the park, and then let the people around draft you for a better result. Like animals and geese fly in a formation to help you get to a destination. They do that because there's 40% less energy on their wings. Hang around the people that will give you less resistance in life to change your habit, to change your patterns, to give you a better statistical outcome for long-term health and performance.
I love that. I love the way thinking of it as, 40% less stress because you're carried in a formation that actually builds you up, and it's accountability. And I think that's really what separates everyday people from elite athletes is most elite athletes know that they're going to have to depend. They're going to have to trust that their team and their coach and the healthcare providers that are in their presence really, they're not waiting till something breaks. They're really kind of taking care of their bodies daily. And as you said, when you're in a community, that builds you up and there's accountability. So remember, those words come together very nice, community and accountability. And I think you said it very beautifully, Dr. Athens. What does it mean for you to feel truly aligned? What does it mean for Nick Athens to know he is truly aligned in his daily practice as a chiropractor as well as his life?
What that means to me, my mind and body are one. I'm in the present moment. And when I'm in the present moment, I'm in a calmer state. My body is in the office, my mind's out the door thinking of something else. So if I can keep everything in the present moment, I'm locked in, I'm focused, I want to be astute, I want to be at a high level, and I want to be calm. Who doesn't want to have calmness in their life? So if you can remain calm in a storm of life that's going on around you, what makes a good quarterback is all this chaos is going on around him. He's looking up the field. He's feeling this, but a bad quarterback, he's looking at it. A great quarterback, he's feeling it and looking up the field at his receivers and completing passes to help his team win, right? That's what it's about. We talked about that. So if you can stay in the present moment, stay calm, stress is there every day. It's how you manage it. I tell patients, not how you act, it's how you react. So if you can react in a better way, don't get so reactive, let things play out a little bit more, hang around those people that can help you, hang around realistic voices and people who can guide you in a better direction. I think that's a great way to be. And if when you're mindful, I think you listen better. And when you listen better, they say you have 2 ears, 1 mouth. So use those ears to listen, absorb the information, and then you can start making a good decision to implement that information going forward. And that makes you better on a day-to-day basis. And if you try to get better every day, I think that's all you can ask of yourself, and try to be the best performer you can every day.
What makes me smile is that you're a dad. So you
Mhm.
have these your children who are the people that you're hanging out with. So you're kind of the leader of this pack. And if you would kindly share with our listeners, how did you see yourself in raising your son? Did you think that he might become a chiropractor, or did you just lead and let him decide what was right for him?
Well, raising 2 sets of twins is just a lot, and I never forced any of them to do anything. I just wanted them to find their path, and so I never said you have to do this or you have to do that. I think you lead by example. I think that's your best way, and I've always been inspired by athletes that make, like I said, others better. And if you could just make your kids better by playing that role and being that person and showing up every day and being consistent, you're teaching them these subconscious habits that, wow, if he's doing it, it's working for them, and they're seeing athletes get better and patients get better. I think one of the best things in life, Dr. McAllister, is helping others, right? And so if
Yeah.
you can help others, that's what people are missing when they get older. They need to get outside themselves and get out of their own way and go volunteer places. Volunteer at the VA, go volunteer, whether you're walking dogs, whether you're doing something to help others and help other people feel better about what they're doing with their lives. And in our profession, we're helping others, so it's a great feeling. I get dopamine every day. I get high level performance every day out of my mind, and I know if I'm locked in, am I laughing, I'm in the present moment, and I'm doing these things, then the one child saw that I was happy every day. He saw I was happy in helping others. And I think if you lead by example, saying, Dad, I want that. I think I want to get what you got. I want to have that potion that you have coming out of your body. And so I want to learn how to do that. And so he decided to go to chiropractic school. He's going to graduate this year, which is great. And I
Awesome.
could phase out and start teaching other chiropractors to be better. And that's my goal, is to make my profession better. After 44 years and hundreds of thousands of patients, you figure out their patterns and habits they have. And my goal is to inspire other doctors to be better and perform at a high level, be locked in their practice, their mind and body as one in the present moment, so they're not having their mind go somewhere else. And if you could be that practitioner, I think that's what patients want. I think patients want doctors and practitioners who are locked in with them and focused on them at that point in time to give that patient the best version of themselves. So I think if doctors do that, chiropractic's a great profession. If you could master your adjusting skills, master your communication skills, master your teaching skills to patients, you're in essence delivering the goods for them, and they're going to be happy. They're going to refer, and they're going to tell their friends, and you develop a great name in your community. And you're doing God's work. You're going out there and spreading the great message to help others. And I think if you could help others, I think that's what life's about.
Oh, what a beautiful way to put that is our profession as chiropractors. We're really treating the body with the utmost care, reflection, attention, but also in awe of it. Because there are times where I know, both of us being in practice, where you weren't sure, and the miracle happened right in front of you. And there's times where I could feel the tears behind my eyes treating a patient who has come so far and struggled so hard to just be in my office, and then see how the impact of the care that was received changed their life. And I know you've had probably hundreds of thousands of stories like that really touch your heart. Is there one that you're thinking right now, as I stimulate your thought process, that shocked you into being a servant to the patient, that really brought you that moment of reflection that I am merely a vessel to do the best work I can to ensure that, above all else, I'm doing no harm?
Yeah, there was one story that really impacted me. I get touched by it too. I get emotional really because this one patient came in and I said, "How's your husband doing?" She goes, "We're getting along a lot better." And I said, "Why?" She goes, "Since you've been adjusting him, he's not hitting me anymore." And I said, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah, he's a different person." And you don't know what goes on behind scenes of people, but knowing that if someone's in pain, they're not themselves. Maybe, I'm not saying I'm helping people who do domestic abuse, but my point being is, she says, "We're getting along better. He's calmer. We talk to each other now." So, when you reset the nervous system, you just see miracles happen. And that touched me. I'm saying, wow. I mean, I've seen people where you're getting them correctly and they thought of suicide and now they're back on a better reset path. So, you don't realize, remember, the mind and body is one. If you help someone physically, you're going to help them mentally. So if you get people feeling better, they're mentally going to be better. They get more dopamines, endorphins, the feel-good chemicals we're looking for. Most people are looking for those from the outside in. Chiropractic biohacks that from the inside out. So in essence, you're releasing the pain and discomfort, and the brain says, okay, well, we don't have to protect this body anymore. Let's open it up like a dimmer switch. So patients in pain, look at people who are in a bad mood. Patients out of pain, the dimmer switch goes up and people get the dopamine and the endorphins and the serotonin, the feel-good chemicals. So most people are trying to stimulate the dimmer switch to come up from the outside in. Well, what if there was a biohack to go from the inside out? And that's where the adjustment is. That's where adjusting the subluxation, adjusting areas of nerve pressure, releasing the nervous system, you're helping the mind and body perform at another level. And that's how you change lives. That's what I look for. I look for life-changing cases that come in that've been grinding and surviving and trying to look for a reset. They don't know where to go. So, much like athletes need coaches, patients need great doctors of chiropractic to reset them in a better path, statistical path, without drugs, injections, and surgeries. And there's a way to do that. And if you master your trade and you become great at what you do, then you're going to get these results. And like I said, I expect to get those results. I'm locked in the office. I train for it. So why wouldn't I get? The universe should take care of me if I'm doing all the things for myself to keep my being at a high level, and I'm locked in mentally, and I expect these cases to come in and get better. And so I guess that one case, Sherry, kind of reset me to say, wow, I'm doing a little bit more here. When you could get the best thing about chiropractic care is you're getting a family and helping out the couple get better. They're going to be better parents for the kids. The kids are better off. The whole family dynamic's better, around the holidays. Everyone's enjoying each other's company. The less people are in pain. They're able to move. They're just in better moods, right? And so if you can keep people moving and keep them in better moods and keep them at a high level of performing for them, and get them to be more active and get them to do some sort of lifestyle change in a good direction and be this healthcare coach that they need, like an athlete would need a coach. I've never seen an athlete go without a coach in the big leagues.
Right.
So every professional athlete has a coach. Coaches give the athlete a realistic voice. Well, The chiropractor is a great realistic voice to have to guide you in a better direction and give you the body work you need and reset you need to give you a level of performance, to give you a quality of life that maybe you haven't had in a long time. So if you can improve someone's quality of life, then you're doing what you should be doing as a chiropractor, helping others.
It's beautifully said. And I don't even need to ask this last question because you've answered it so fully and succinctly. Is at the end of the day, 44 years have gone by and you jump out of bed still and you're still inspired and you're still passionate and you still want to educate and you still want to motivate and you still want to collaborate with outside healthcare providers. But what distinctly separates chiropractic, while we build bridges and I think we collaborate with other healthcare professionals very, very well, and you especially having been with the elite athletes and in the rooms, knowing there's a medical doctor and you know the team, athletic trainers, and you're coming in providing a role. But I think after 44 years, you offer something different, and that's the wisdom. You've been there, you've done that, you've recognized the level of importance that you play. Is there anything that I missed in your 44 years that you would like to expand on that might give a consumer out there an adjusted reality, knowing that they've tried everything and maybe they're losing a little bit of hope, and that might be the reasons they're not coping as well as possible? What say you?
Yeah, I would say that aging isn't at 67 myself. So as you age, your mind feels younger because you have all these experiences of life, but we feel physically older. So we have this youthful mind in an older body. Well, no one kind of told us that we could have a body that matches more the mind. We don't have to feel as old as we are. We don't have to feel 80 while we're 60, right? So what can we do to keep this congruency of the mind young and the body's young? So that's fun. That's the sweet spot, youth with experience. And I think if you could have youth with experience, your time is your currency as you age. So if you could age more effectively with less health breakdowns, we're taught we have, we work hard all our lives and we have this money to go, let's say, spend on vacations. Well, if we can't move, we can't enjoy our life. So, take care of yourself proactively. Don't let for time to get time in the back end. Work forward and get more time in the front. So the more you can start taking care of yourself at a younger age, you can get more time in the back end to enjoy and travel. And I tell patients, if you want to go to Europe and see history, there's no ADA compliance. You better be able to walk up the castle and walk down the castle and go up to the Colosseum or the Parthenon and walk down. You can't just go up and down. There's no escalators and elevators taking you to historic places. So if you want to go see the world, if you want to travel and hike and do things, you have to have your health. So plan for your health. Don't wish for your health. Many people wish for it and they figure it's going to be there on the back end. Well, like I said, it's not going to be there unless you have a plan for it. So hang around those people, like I said, community, hang around those health practitioners could keep you going in the right direction so you can have a youthful body and a youthful mind. And if you could get both of those, it's fun. You could have fun with aging. And it's not as bad as you think because you've been proactive with it your life. And now you're going to have a better consequence than those people aren't thinking that way. Because a lot of people just take medications and drugs and they just cover things up. When the red oil light's on the car, I want to take care of the red oil light. I don't want to just paint over it. So I want to be proactive with my body. I want to know what it feels like. I want to know when if I'm having a good day or a bad day. I want to be locked in when I go in the office. So what are these things I have to do to get more out of myself on a day-to-day basis that these good habits are created automatically in my body? And if you could have this formula that works and share it with the world, why wouldn't you want to go out there and have a passion for it? And that's where my passion is going out and sharing that with the world and making others better.
That is the beautiful part. Dr. Athens, having you here and having you seen decades of change and opportunity is such a blessing. And we can't thank you enough for being part of ChiroThon. I think you brought the reality to today, which is this is not a dress rehearsal. We're all showing up. We're all on the field. It's all game day. And you get to choose who you hang out with, what books you read, what places you go, and the people that you meet. I think that was Charlie Tremendous Jones' biggest way of looking at the world. Where are you going to be in 5 years? Look around. Today is game day. And that, Dr. Nick Athens, is why we're so grateful that you're here with us in ChiroThon, facing one of the biggest sports moments in history, which is FIFA World Cup. And we have so much to be proud of and so much more to cover. So thank you all for joining us today, whether you're tuning in virtually or you're watching this conversation live. We can't thank you enough for watching and being part of ChiroThon 2026. And once again, thank you, Dr. Athens, for being part of the historical moment to bring people aware of and proactive with their healthcare.
Thank you, Dr. McAllister, for having me. And it's all about love, right? So love everyone out there.
Thank you so much for your insights, Dr. Athens. You are a true champion and such a blessing to this profession.
I love Nick.
I do too.
Man. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in. We've had some fantastic speakers joining us today and can't wait for you to hear from them. Remember, you can go to f4cp.org/chirothon for the full lineup of today's speakers and reach our donation goal.
Now, don't forget that if you donate, you'll be entered into a raffle to win an adjusted reality bundle. It is a bundle that will change your reality.
What is in the bundle? Let's talk about that.
Well, we have some. First, you'll get an adjusted reality book.
Yep.
Then we have some pretty significant swag, and you'll probably get the Dr. Mladenov's book, which if you're a mother or a parent, a father or an uncle or a grandmother, you should have that concussion guide
100%.
book. It's so important. But we have some very special things that we're going to be adding to it, and that's going to be the creative part of this. We only have a few more hours left today, so we need to make every single hour count. And you're with us to reach our goals, so please, if you could consider $5, $10, $15 to help us get around the globe. I mean, if you can think about the people that we're going to help in places where they really, really desperately need spinal health care, as you saw with Dr. Rebecca Wilkes yesterday, is global health care, especially when it's spine related and the disabilities that can happen. It's going to be so awesome. So speaking of donations, where might we be, Dr. Drake?
We are currently at 23,523. I'm going to do something. I'm going to donate 500 right now. So that takes us what?
We're not 800 now. We're almost at 24,000.
So here's the thing. I want to challenge you guys to match my 500 minimum in this next segment. So if you could leave a comment, ask a question, let us know what you've learned in these vignettes so far, and we'll be back because we do want to hit some of the questions from yesterday, okay? See you soon.